80 years after the guns fell silent across Europe, London's venerable Horse Guards Parade once again rang with the echoes of celebration and solemn remembrance as the nation marked Victory in Europe Day. Under a clear May sky, more than 12,000 attendees gathered to honour the generation whose service and sacrifice reshaped the course of history. The evening's proceedings, masterfully hosted by broadcaster Zoe Ball, interwove musical tributes, veteran testimonies, dramatic readings, and a keynote address that cast a bright yet contemplative light on a legacy of unity, duty, and peace. The assembled royals conferred a regal solemnity on the proceedings. Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla arrived with the gravitas befitting the 80th anniversary of a triumph that signalled the Allied victory over Nazi tyranny. Alongside them, the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate, exuded warmth and engagement. Greeting veterans and waving Union Jack flags with genuine enthusiasm, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Prince Edward and Sophie, joined in heartfelt conversation with those who had endured the hardships of wartime Britain, while spectators, undeterred by a gentle spring chill, reflected a collective sense of gratitude and historical continuity. Musical performances evoke the spirit of the 1940s, transporting the audience back to an era when swing and big band rhythms provided both solace and exuberance. West End icon Samantha Barks closed the concert with a stirring interpretation of We'll Meet Again, her voice resonant with the hope that buoyed a war-weary nation. Equally poignant was actor Richard Armitage's testimony of the Birmingham Blitz, recalling the loss of his family amid the relentless bombing raids. His account, delivered with calm dignity, underscored the human cost behind the triumphant headlines of May 8, 1945. The evening's dramatic segments cast further light on Britain's wartime narrative. Brian Cox, renowned for his commanding presence, recited Sir Winston Churchill's most iconic wartime speech, evoking the oratorical fire that galvanised a nation under siege. Interspersed were humorous yet affectionate recreations of scenes from the beloved television series Dad's Army, featuring voice contributions from Joan Collins, Mary Berry and Sheila Hancock. These moments balanced sombre reflection with the idiosyncratic British wit that sustained morale during the darkest days. At the heart of the commemoration stood His Majesty's keynote address, a speech resonant with both historical fidelity and contemporary urgency. Drawing on Churchill's maxim, meeting jaw to jaw is better than war, the King exhorted world leaders and citizens alike to rededicate themselves to diplomacy and the prevention of conflict. He invoked his grandfather, King George VI, whose own wartime broadcast reminded the nation that victory would ring hollow if it failed to establish a just and enduring peace. "We shall have failed," the King quoted, "and the blood of our dearest will have flowed in vain, if the victory which they died to win does not lead to a lasting peace, founded on justice and established in goodwill." While the memory of 1945 provided the emotional foundation, the King's remarks carried a clear contemporary resonance. He named present-day theatres of conflict, from Ukraine to the Middle East and various regions across Africa, as stark reminders that human suffering persists. He urged a global recommitment. "It is now 80 years since my grandfather announced to the nation and the Commonwealth that the dreadful shadow of war has passed from our hearths and our homes. This historic declaration," he noted, "must inspire renewed efforts toward reconciliation and solidarity." Interwoven with these formal reflections was a personal tribute that offered a window into the young Princess Elizabeth's spontaneous jubilation on VE Day. According to the King, his mother, mere days shy of her 20th birthday, moved anonymously among London's revellers, singing until the early hours and marvelling at the collective relief that coursed through the city streets. Quoting her diary entry, "Out in the crowd again. Embankment, Piccadilly, rained, so fewer people. Kungaed into house, sang till 2 a.m, bed at 3 a.m. The King drew a vivid parallel between the exuberance of 1945 and the restrained celebration permitted by modern decorum. Yet the address did not dwell solely on past triumphs. The King reminded listeners that the war against Japan continued until August of that year, and that his own father bore witness to VJ Day from the deck of HMS Whelp. Their legacy, and our responsibility today, is to remember the past by looking to the future. he asserted, stressing the imperative to preserve veterans' testimonies as their numbers grow ever smaller. Amid these weighty reflections, the evening did not neglect the visual spectacle so emblematic of state occasions. The Princess of Wales chose a cream-tailored boucle and chiffon midi dress by self-portrait, its blazer-style bodice flowing into a tulle and lace skirt. A strand of pearls and ornate earrings by Aurelia Jewelry lent further elegance. Complemented by beige suede heels and a black leather clutch, her soigné coiffure, held back by a delicate jigsaw hairbow, framed understated smoky eye makeup and soft pink lips. Prince William adhered to classic formality in a black suit and deep blue tie, bearing the insignia of the Most Honourable Order of the Bath. King Charles wore a lounge suit adorned with his medals and neck order, while Queen Camilla's navy and white Anna Valentine jumpsuit and long embroidered coat were accented by the Britannia brooch, a poignant heirloom of Queen Elizabeth II. Earlier that day, Westminster Abbey had hosted a service of thanksgiving in memory of the day when church bells pealed across Britain and crowds rallied outside Buckingham Palace. The 10-year-old Alexander Churchill, great-great-grandson of Sir Winston Churchill, lit a commemorative candle of peace, and young congregants distributed white roses to Second World War veterans. A nationwide 2-minute silence paused the landmark ceremony at noon, marking the sacred observance that has connected generations since 1945. Senior royals, including Princess Anne, Sir Tim Lawrence, and the Dukes of Gloucester and Kent, joined Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and former premiers such as Rishi Sunak, David Cameron, and Boris Johnson. Notably absent were the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who stepped back from senior duties 5 years prior. The palace aide summed up the collective sentiment. The wartime generation's selfless devotion should stand as an enduring example to us all, and must never be forgotten. As the week's commemorations drew to a close, the King's final exhortation resonated with enduring clarity. Communities have united in street parties, religious services and small acts of remembrance, each reinforcing the shared duty to listen, learn, and pass forward the stories of those who endured. The legacy of VE Day, he reminded, is not merely the memory of victory, but the living testament to what can be achieved when nations stand together against tyranny. In keeping that testament alive, current and future generations may indeed bequeath a better world, just as those exceptional men and women did 8 decades ago.